back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Today, I am joined by the amazing and beautiful Anna Pepe. Did I say that right?
Yes, Anna
Close
Elena
enough.
say yes.
How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. It is so cool to have you on here. I appreciate it so much. Joining us from across the pond, so it's a little later for you than it is for me here. Anna actually was born in Italy and then relocated to London and then came to the States and is now back in London. Actually, she was
due to the pandemic, but I'll be back soon.
Well, we can't wait to have you back. You left at a good time, though, it seems like. For those of you, this is actually airing a little bit later, but we're filming right now on November 4th. So everybody knows what's going on in the world right now today in the United States. So it's nice to have this little break and be able to talk to somebody about something, I would say less horror related, but it's just as scary out there right now during this election period. So you are in the upcoming Central Authority, as well as you've been in Two Popes. And something I found very interesting, you did a stage show with Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. How was that?
I didn't actually do like a proper show with them. Like they were, when we were doing Drama Academy, they were doing a show at the time that was called Waiting for Godot at the Haymarket. So we got to do some master classes with them of the show. And, I got like to, act with them in a sense, but I wasn't like in a show with them. In that show, they were only those two, him and Patrick Stewart. So.
But still, I mean, to be able to say that you shared a stage with them, whether officially or not, that's such a cool accomplishment. I'm so proud of you. That's something that everybody would love to have on their list.
So. They are amazing, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so jealous right now. Now, a lot of people, right now, I'm on a little bit of a kick with the Central Authority. I was so lucky to get a lot of the cast members on here. What was it like filming the Central Authority?
I think it was very exciting because one thing, it was, at the beginning of the pandemic. So we were all like, what's going to happen? And it really like helped us to get creative with very little. I think everybody went way out of their comfort zone. They pull out like wonderful characters. When crisis makes you dig deep, I feel everybody did like extraordinary in that film. So, I'm extremely grateful that I've been involved with it.
I'm extremely grateful as well because I've got to meet a lot of great people because of this film, and it's amazing. I was lucky enough where I got to see part of the film, and I'm so excited for everybody to be able to watch this film. This is so much fun. I also wanted to talk to you about you filmed your parts from London, correct?
Yeah.
So how was that? I know you said you kind of pushed it to the limit, but filming in a completely different country compared to some of your other cast members, how was that?
Well, we had to kind of like figure out time zones and time differences. Yes, we had to kind of obviously understand what to do. And even like when we actually filmed, it was a lot of like 6 hours. So I, at the end I had to, be aware of the neighbors and what was going to happen.
Sure.
There's kind of like some crazy stuff going on. So I had to kind of like, okay, right. I wonder what's happening if they hear me.
And it's one of those movies that's a lot of fun, for all the different actors and actresses that you have in this film and the way that you guys filmed it. It's a lot of fun. This is very unique. So it's really cool to see how this is going to play out for everybody to watch it.
Yes, I play Dr. Zivaga, which is the sexologist of the Central Authority. So it's somebody who's telling you how you can have, sex safely during the pandemic.
Which is something that we all need to know about. So I will take your advice. Everybody take her advice.
Are you sure? I don't know, but okay, yeah.
Touche. Now, for those of you that don't know, also, Anna is more of a writer, actress in the comedy world. So I am kind of taking her out of her comfort zone here a little bit in the horror world. Talking about the first horror movie that you ever watched, and your first horror movie was
Suspiria, 1977, Dario Argento. Have
such a
you seen
great
it?
film. Oh, of course, of course. It's one of those films that just starts off with a bang. And it's
Yes.
one of those things where you don't know what's going on throughout most of the movie. And it's an all-girls school, essentially. And if you guys haven't seen Suspiria, and we're talking the original, the Dario Argento one, not the
Yeah.
remake, but it's a movie you absolutely should check out. Do you remember about how old you were the first time you had seen it?
I think I was in high school. I must have been like 15, 16.
Right around the age of the actresses in the movie. So that might have hit a
Yeah,
little
kind
closer to
of.
you
Yeah.
because what you're watching on screen. So,
And also, like, you have to understand at that time, maybe you had, Fame, the TV series. So it was kind of like the same setting, but a very different twist.
oh, very different twists. And that's actually something I wanted to talk to you about was which scene affected you the most from that film.
I think, as you said, it starts with a bang. So even the first killing scene is just like,
Yeah.
again and again and again. It's not like it's going on and on forever. And okay, but what I like about Dario Argento is like he takes no prisoners, and there's even one scene in which there's a blind guy get killed by his dog. And I felt like this is, the most politically incorrect thing that I've ever seen. But I like
And
it.
yeah. And the thing about that scene too, if you guys watched, it looks good for the time. This isn't one of those things where, I mean, now when you watch it now, obviously you can tell the dog's a puppet at certain parts, but when you watch this in the whole film, this comes out of nowhere. Like you don't expect this to happen, and you're just like, oh, what's going on here? So you need to. I don't want to spoil the film for people that haven't seen it. I know it's from 1977. I get it. It's almost 40 years old, but maybe it's over 40. I don't know. It's old. So if you guys haven't seen it, it's something that you absolutely need to watch. It's such a great film and so much fun to watch. Cool twist to it as well. Now we talked about which scene affected you the most, Anna. I would like to know what your favorite scene from the movie is.
I think probably, but it's the ending though. So
okay, well, we won't give it away, but I think I know what you're talking about. And one thing about this movie is I don't think anybody could have predicted.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of get hints throughout, but how it really unfolds there at the end, it's one of those, and it's graphic. The ending there's a lot of that third act is quite graphic.
Also, it's a character journey, which is what I like. So it's about also this young girl like becoming, more and more independent, and then eventually manage to, do what she does. So
Yes.
this is what I like. It's empowering. I'm a lot about female stories, so it's a good character journey.
Well, and that too, and we were talking about a powerful female character. One great thing about this movie is it absolutely has powerful female characters throughout. And for being 1977, you didn't see a whole lot of that back then. A lot of that was, they are damsels in distress that need to be rescued.
Yeah, and
so
both like the evil geniuses are the women, and the heroes are the women. So
yeah. You gotta love it. I love that about this film, and I don't think that gets talked about as much. I think that's one of the more underrated parts of this film. Now we talk about the dog kill, and obviously the ending kill, the beginning kill. It wouldn't be a horror movie podcast if I didn't ask you which kill, I hate saying favorite because that's very dark, but which kill stuck with you the most throughout the film?
I think when that girl like falls into the wires.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even that like I think it's also like a fear of mine
Oh,
to get like hurt by stuff that doesn't seem that hurtful, but then it
right.
gets dangerous.
Well, and that makes sense too. I mean, I think that's something that you expect every day, and then it turns around and it's something that it can kill you in the end.
Yeah.
So we did talk about your first horror movie, which was Suspiria. Now I gotta ask you, just like I ask everybody else, I gotta go scream on you here. What's your favorite scary movie? What scary movie is your favorite horror movie of all time?
I think lately, and so I always like movies that portray a message. So I
Okay.
would say lately, I don't know if it properly defined as a horror movie, but I thought Get Out was a
Yeah.
wonderful movie. For the kind of message that it's there, for how it builds up,
Mm-hmm.
starting for something that looks like a romantic comedy, and then slowly gets darker and darker and darker. So
And
I was,
I consider Get Out a movie that is absolutely phenomenal. I think it's a horror movie. I think it's a suspense movie. I think that the message they portray in it is amazing. Have you seen the alternate ending to that film?
no.
We will talk about that once we stop recording, because I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But anybody that would like to see that alternate ending, go to YouTube. The Get Out alternate ending is on there. I was lucky enough to see it on the Blu-ray copy that we own, and I just want to say I'm glad they went with the ending that they did. So,
Also, I
um,
would like her to for people who haven't seen this other movie that I'm gonna suggest. It's called Under the Shadows.
okay,
It's a film that it's an Iranian film that won a lot of BAFTAs a few years ago. And there's the whole, there's also of course a whole horror scenario, but the whole film is a metaphor for the bombings in Syria. So I think or in the Middle East. So I really like when you use the genre to talk about what's happening in the world, because it's what
yeah,
I try to do with comedy as well. Like I try to distract people and then deliver a powerful message, and I think you can do with the horrors as well. So people, you're entertaining them, but at the same time you're trying to say something.
right. You're getting a message out there to people, and I love that too, because to me, some of the scariest movies are the things that can happen in real life. When you're watching these real life things that are happening, that's more terrifying to me, because this could really happen to us. And when you're talking about the bombings in the Middle East or the bombings in Syria, that whole area, that's something that's really happening. That's something that Americans sometimes we forget. Those are people over there too. And you hear about this stuff and you see it on the news, and it's insane and it's terrifying. And it happened here with 9/11 when our towers were hit. And it's one of those things where that's so heartbreaking to know that we're still like that we haven't advanced past warfare against each other to get our points across against religion or politics. We'll drop a bomb on you if you don't agree with us. It's such a sad, sad thing. So those, to me, I agree with you, they're more scary because they have that message behind them of this is real. This really happens to people over there.
So definitely check it out, Under the Shadows.
Under the Shadows. Okay. I'll put that down in the description, as well as all of Anna's links are down here in the description as well. So you guys can follow her on social media. We always end this with the same thing, Anna. We end it with a skull count. We're rating Suspiria on 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. You can use half and quarter skulls. What would your ranking be? 0 to 5 skulls.
4.
Fair. Very
Yeah.
fair. Again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this was educational for you guys. I hope you guys had a great time with me and Anna. I'm sorry. Anna, don't go anywhere. I got a couple more questions for you. Everybody else, remember, keep talking horror, stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.